Okay, what's up everybody? I'm Corys, and first thing I want to do is I want to give you a quote from Robert Henry. I took a lot of shits with you. Robert Henry told me that a couple weeks ago when I was in this room. What did he mean by that? What did Robert mean by I took a lot of shits with you? I'm sure you can all listen in your head right now Robert saying something like that, because that's just how he is, and he's an amazing person. But he's very forward and open, and that's what I love about him. But this was his word to me. So Robert got to know me before I got to know him. Robert hired my company. I own Baller Media here in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. And we're a marketing agency. We do a lot of your videos and a lot of the marketing for your agents and things like that. And today what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to loosen you up a little bit. I want you to try to get comfortable with yourself. I'm comfortable. Let's all really get comfortable ourselves. So believe it or not, it's three things that we're going to cover right now. We're going to get you comfortable being yourself. We're going to get you comfortable in front of the camera to make sure that people get comfortable with you before you even meet them. And that's something that I was able to do in my company, in my business, and the things I do all the time. And one way I do that is through video, through speaking, and through being with people. And so when Robert talked about, hey, I took many shits with you, believe it or not, it's because I was consistent in my communications, which is two of the three things that we talked about. Now, it's a pretty forward thing to say, but that's how he got to know me, because I was all over social media with my video and my messages and the things that I get to do. I have a message to say right now in our community. I have a message to say in the Pacific Northwest. And that is to become yourself, to be vulnerable, to find your fulfillment in what you do. You're not here being a realtor or a real estate agent or a broker because you want to sell houses. You want to be fulfilled in your life. You want to find fulfillment. You want to wake up every day and you want to feel good about everything that you're doing in your life. You don't want to be stressed out about money. Money is not your goal. Fulfillment is your goal. To be content with your life, and that is what we're all after. And I want you to understand that those are the goals that we're trying to reach. We're not trying to make more money. We're not trying to sell more homes. We're not trying to buy more homes or be an investor or a better broker or the best agent. We're just trying to be fulfilled in who we are. That is the definition of business. It is not work-life balance. It is just life. I try to transform my life every single day to be completely satisfied with my life as a whole. My business, my company, my entrepreneurship, my various things that I'm doing, all should blend into the bottom line of my life. And that's what I want you to do. And that's what I'm really trying to get you comfortable as a modern day entrepreneur, to get people to be comfortable with you. Now, I continued to put out content after content, just my message after message, where people were watching my content in the bathroom. They were getting to know me. They were in different places of their private homes and leisure, getting to know me. So when they shook my hand, they already had built rapport with me. They already knew who I was. And that's what I'm going to try to do for you today in just a short amount of time. So the three things that we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about number one, which is foundation. And number two, we're going to talk about communication. And three, consistency. So foundation, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this part, but I will tell you it's no less important. Just be yourself. And I want you to ask yourself three main questions. I want you to ask yourself, this is the foundation of what you're doing. You can't communicate or say anything about what you do unless you have a foundation. Is what I'm doing any good? Are you doing what you're doing? Is it any good? Are you happy what you're doing? Do you love it? Do you wake up every day and you love what you do? I want you to ask yourself and be honest with yourself. Be self-aware enough to know, is this something that I love? And is it valuable to the market? If those three questions can be answered, you have a foundation. Of course, outside of a digital foundation, like a logo, a brand, Haven Real Estate offers that to you. You have a foundation. So, meaning if I were to go tell you about a great movie, it's got to be available for you to go watch. That's like the foundation. The communication is me telling you about it. Okay, so if you go out and you talk about yourself, you talk about your entrepreneurship, you talk about your hustle, you talk about what you're about, there better be something for people to go back and find that it's real. All of the decision making, every single bit of decision making is going to come back to your foundation. They're not going to make a decision most of the time in front of you. They're not going to make a decision and say, we're going to do this. They're going to go look you up. They're going to make sure that you're founded, that there's something of substance in what you're doing. All decisions are made at your foundation. We're not going to talk about that a lot. I want to read this quote to you. And it says, look, talent comes from everywhere, but having something to say and a way to say it, have people listen to it, that's a whole nother bag. Unless you get out and you try to do it, you'll never know. That's just the truth. Do you even have anything to say? You might be super talented. You might be an awesome salesperson or really good with people. But if you ain't got a message, if you ain't got anything to say of passion, then it doesn't matter. There's a lot of talented people in the world. And that's great, but I want you to have a message. And that's what people endear to, is a message that you're going to have. Once you start communicating, everyone will make their choice there. So I want you to understand that your foundation is super important. So as you talk, as you have something to say, that they come back and they see your foundation. The second thing, and the next ones we're going to talk a lot more on, which is communication. This message that you have, what is it about you? And I'm not here to talk to you about buying and selling homes and being a real estate agent, because that's easy stuff. You guys know how to do that. I'm talking about who you are. Are you comfortable talking about what you love and what you believe in? And are you comfortable putting yourself out there, being a little vulnerable, and communicating who you are so people are comfortable being in front of you? Let's get over ourselves and let's start communicating ourselves, okay? How are we going to communicate? This is a quote from Theodore Roosevelt. We've all heard it. If you ever read Brene Brown, all these different things, all these self-help books, this is an incredible quote, and I'm going to read it. It is not the critic who counts. It's not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds? Who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions? Who spends himself in a worthy cause? Who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement? And who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who will never know victory or defeat. You guys, get out there and stop trying to get it exactly the way you think it should be. Let me just show you guys something real quick. Do you see? We all know what these are. These are more than phones. You have liberty and freedom to take this out of your purse or your pocket, turn on the camera, and communicate a message consistently. Talk to people. Let them get to know you without you ever having to get to know them. That way when they come up and they shake your hand, they know who you are. They're like, Dennis, I've seen you 4,000 times on Facebook. I'm so finally glad to meet you. And you're like, I don't know who the fuck you are. You know what I mean? But that's beautiful. That you're just it empowers you. If you were to hear that from somebody, make you feel empowered. You would be pumped. You'd be like, yeah, they know me. I don't got to go through all the bullshit of hey, they already know who you are. They've already endeared to you. They've already just met you. You know what I mean? And now then it's your turn to listen. Once you meet them, you can just sit down and say, tell me about you. Tell me what's going on. What can I do for you? That's the magic words, man. Don't even assume what they want. Just sit down with them at a coffee shop somewhere and ask them the magic words. And what can I do for you? How can I help you? How can I make your life better? They might tell you something you had no idea. And it'll just create this magical moment of trust and rapport. I want you to right now, I just want you to really feel this. I want you to accept that you're not perfect. And I want to be honest with you as agents, right, as brokers. I know you very well. I know, not to say that you're a kind, but I'm going to stereotype you. Agents and brokers are notorious for wanting to be absolutely perfect in their delivery. You want it to be just right. You want your pictures and you want your headshots to be just right. You want your articulation in your videos to be just right. You want your content written just so, because you have an image. We all have an image. Let me tell you what, people are going to endear to imperfection. They are going to see right through that. They're going to see right through your attempt at perfection. They do. You do. You see through it. Look, like, I'm completely imperfect. I'm completely just a mess sometimes, but I own it. I'm happy to be a mess. I'm okay with it. Like, the whole start of this thing, I'm trying to figure out my audio, and the audio's playing on there, and my video plays wrong. It's like all this stuff is going on, but I don't care. I just keep going forward, and I own it. I'm okay with it, because I know who I am. I know what I'm trying to do. And I want you to do that too. I just want you to be okay with yourself. And just be okay with the pain and process of becoming who it is that you're becoming. And people will see that, and they'll say, like, what is your name? Andrea. They'll be like, Andrea, what a breath of fresh air. That's what they'll say. Man, she's just real and authentic and just, thank you. That's what they'll say. Because that's who they are and that's who you are. No more perfection. No more trying to act like we have it perfect. Anytime you speak to a person in real life, like you're one-to-one at a coffee shop, or they come, or you meet them at an open house, or whatever it is that you're going to meet them at a networking meeting, you don't get the opportunity to edit yourself. You don't get to check on what you say and how you look, and if there's like a hair hanging in the wrong spot, or your makeup's off, or your audio doesn't work right, or whatever it is. You don't get to check those things. You don't get to see yourself. Why would you think that you get to do that in digital media as much as you want? Because that's not what's real. The ums and the ahs and the things like that, like people like that. That proves that you're actually human. And there's a subconscious part of every person that endears to it. Really what I'm doing right now, I'm asking you to just let go. That's all I'm doing. Not asking you to try to be imperfect. Because guess what? We're already imperfect. We're already struggling and figuring out what we're going to say, going into a meeting, going into these things. I want you just to be that. Be yourself. Be okay. I mean, obviously put work in, hustle, figure out who you are, and get there and perfect your craft. But don't think it has to be perfect before you execute. A recipient of your communication picks up on all of your imperfections without knowing it. They also pick up on your attempt to be perfect, and that isn't something that they don't want. You're not endeared to someone by their perfect articulation or their looks. You're endeared to their genuine approach and authenticity. Can you just be authentic in your video production and your selfie videos and your selfies and your pictures and how you communicate? Authenticity is imperfect. Think leather, think jeans, and we all like imperfection and worn things. That's the same with you. Just be that. You don't got to be brand new. Just be yourself. Perfect content, perfect color with the most articulated wording is unapproachable. This is a poison pill that I swallowed a lot of. When I started doing like this video, and having Josh come with me to different engagements and things like that, and try to, like, all I'm doing right now is documenting. That's all you do, is just document your message so you can use it more than once, right? But there was a time where I just wanted it completely produced, and I want the best stuff, and I want the best color, and I want the best articulation and the best content. The more you do that, and the better you do, the more unapproachable you'll become. So how can you do it? How can you be approachable while still producing great content like maybe Baller Media does for some of you? Will we come and interview you? I think some of you are getting interviewed today. And you're going to see these videos. They're going to be highly produced, and they're going to be awesome, and they're going to be great. But how can you become and stay approachable through that process so people don't look at you and be like, too expensive. Can't do that. Don't want to meet them. I'm too nervous. Take selfie videos. Get your phone in your face and start talking about what you love. Instead of talking about a house that's for sale or a home that a listing you want or something like that, why don't you talk about what your favorite food is on your real estate page? Put your phone up, be like, hey, what's up, everybody? It's Andrea. I just want to tell everybody that today's just a great day, and I'm at this home, I'm at this open house, but do you know what I love most about Mondays? Is that I can get up, I can take my time, I can have my coffee, and get out by 10. You're just talking about yourself and the things that you love. And it takes really a second to do. And it creates an approachable you. So people can say, wow, what a cool person. She didn't try to cram a home down my throat. The next thing I want to talk to you about is consistency. How many of you all watched football last night? So I did not, but I do know that there is this guy named Tom Brady. Who has heard of Tom Brady? Okay, well, Tom Brady is like this incredible football player. He always wins. His team always wins in the NFL. They always win like all the Super Bowls. He's stupid good, and everybody hates him because because they just hate him. He annoys people. Whatever it is. But the thing about Tom Brady is he's absolutely consistent in how he plays the game. He wins all the time because he's consistent in his delivery. So I want you to watch this. As we shoot this video, the New England Patriots and Tom Brady are going to the Super Bowl again, which I'm not happy about. I mean, I don't want to see Tom Brady again. He freaking annoys me because he keeps on winning, and I want to see someone new. That doesn't change the fact that he's good, he's consistent, and he's damn good at what he does. I'll tell you one thing. We may not like guys like Tom Brady and LeBron James because the reason we don't like him is because they're just always there. They're always in front of us. They're always in the same. We just get bored of them. If you were the owner of an NFL franchise and you had the option to sign Tom Brady as your quarterback, I could guarantee you, if you were a smart owner, you would sign him. You would put him on your team. Why? Because you want to win. Because at the end of the day, you want to win. If you're a business owner now and you want to win, then you got to be consistent. You have to be consistent. You have to do it all the time. Consistency builds trust. Consistency creates trust. No matter what anybody feels about you, if they don't like the way you articulate or do something, or maybe they're a hater, or maybe they just I don't know what it is. We kind of are annoyed by Tom Brady and the way he is. But if you owned a football team and you wanted him to be, and you wanted to win, he's the one that you'd want on your team. The point is, if you're consistent in your communication and your message, it doesn't matter how anybody feels about you. If they want to win, you're the one they were going to call because you're consistent in your message. That's why Haven hired us. Because actually, Robert was a little annoyed by me at first. He didn't really like me. People technically don't like me at first, but I really do mean what I say. I'm consistent in my beliefs, I'm consistent in what I believe, and I do care about other people. And Robert was like, who is this? He even said, who's this fucking millennial, is what he told me. He's coming out there just ranting away, talking, he's going to the bathroom, watching my content. Over time, he was like, gosh, I may be a little edged here, but he's right. Because I am right about this stuff. I am right about communication. I know it works. And over time, guess what? We became friends. We started having coffee, and we started having lunch. We met up, and we figured out that we had the same values. We have the same passion about what we do. And now we're of the same mind to be able to make Haven incredibly successful and top of mind while people are in their homes at their leisure. Guess who they're going to see? They're going to see you. They're going to see your videos. They're going to see your face and your passion. And guess what? When times get tough, and when the market hits or it crashes, or they need to sell their home, or they need to buy a home, they're not going to go to another company or another brokerage. They're going to go to you. Why? Because you're the one that's in front of them every single day, day in, day out. And the only way you're going to be in front of them every single day is if you communicate consistently. You communicate when it's hard. You communicate when it's tough, and when you're tired, and maybe when you're sick. And you communicate no matter what. And how do you do that? You just don't wing it. Have a schedule. Get it in your schedule. I'm going to post one selfie video every week for the next 52 weeks. Maybe you do one a day. It's really not that difficult. We're going to talk about that in just a second. But this is why Robert and Cambria hired us to do their work. I had no idea that I was building rapport with them. No idea. I just knew that I believed in something enough to communicate it effectively. I just saw a new client that just signed on with Baller Media like a week and a half ago. And they came in to the office, and I live upstairs in my office, and he opens the door and he looks at me, and I never met this man in my entire life. He was so nice, and he was just a kind guy, and he looks at me and he goes, "You're Corey Ellis, huh?" I was like, "Yes, sir, I am." And we shook hands and just broke all the walls down. Because all the content that we're putting out, he may have done some research, he may have done something, he saw the videos, he got to know who I was, and it made him feel comfortable to come into that proposal meeting. He felt okay coming in there. It wasn't some weird, like, awkward thing. If you do that as an agent or a broker, and you continue to communicate and put yourself out there, you're going to attract the right people. And when they meet you, they're going to feel really comfortable with you, and they're going to remember who you are, and they're going to remember your name. How can you build and practice consistency? I've been known to say a lot of things. And Rebecca, my wife, she'll tell me, like, you need to make it practical. How can somebody actually use these things other than just, oh yeah, that sounds awesome? You could do something like this. And it was called Corys 365, and I use this a lot in my talks because it works so well. It was one of the biggest things that kind of put me on a habit of communicating my message. And I would ask you to watch this and do something similar for yourself.
In his videos, he says something nice about someone he knows. As Taylor Vito explains, the man hasn't missed a day yet.
If you're on Facebook as much as I am, you'll see everything from news posts to cat pictures to selfie videos like this one.
What's up, everybody? How's it going? I hope you had a good day.
But don't scroll by that so fast. This selfie has a purpose.
But I just wanted to say something to my old buddy Steve Hunt. And Steve is just a super gentle, kind person.
That man is named Corey Jepson. In these videos, he says something nice about someone he knows. A virtual shout-out, you could say.
And I just thought it would be good to highlight Heather today and say, Heather, you are very much appreciated.
But what really makes this different is the fact that since January 1st, he's uploaded 331 of these videos. That's one video shout out every single day of the year. The hashtag Corys365.
Hey everyone, I'm here with the man who's in those videos, Corey Jepson. We figured we're talking about selfies, so why not do this interview selfie style, so to speak. So, Corey, I guess first question for you, where did you get the idea for these videos?
I just kind of came up with it on my own. I mean, I thought, how hard can it be to say one nice thing about a person every single day?
Jepson owns a web design company in the Coeur d'Alene area. He says his goal with the videos is to make people feel better about themselves. He wants to spread a positive mindset with hopes of the idea catching on.
Have you found it challenging at all, finding so many people to think of?
Truthfully, at the beginning, I heard that a lot. Then if you really think about it, finding 365 people to say something nice about every single day is not that hard.
And to Jepson's credit, he hasn't missed a single day since January 1st. Most of the time, he's giving a shout out to people he knows, but that doesn't mean he'll exclude folks he just met.
And here I am at Subway, and what was your name?
Adia.
Adia?
Yeah.
And this is Adia, and I just wanted to highlight her today.
Jepson says he's planning on doing a similar idea, but on a broader scale for the new year. In Coeur d'Alene, Taylor Vito, Crampton News.
If you were to do something like that for a full year, I could guarantee your frickin' business would go through the roof. Not only would your business go through the roof, but you would create habits for yourself that would never leave you. You would create vulnerability for yourself that would open yourself up, make you so strong to be able to just accomplish great things. You could do the same exact thing I did. Just put a hashtag, your name, and 365. Do it, copy it, please take it. Like, do that. That will do some great things for you. It was simple. It was just, yeah, there was a reason I did that, but mechanically, what I did is very simple. Dennis, I know you. I've known you since Prime Real Estate, right? I've known you since then. I could say something nice about Dennis, as he's so helpful. I could pull up my phone, I could pull up my camera and be like, hey, I know this guy named Dennis. He's worked for all these brokerages that I've known of, and he is just such a kind and helpful person. And one thing I love about Dennis is he's a very dual-purposed. He is He is a great agent to be able to help buy and sell your home. But one other thing that he does is he's very digital oriented, and he helps people with their digital communication. I just think that's so great. I just want to say, good job, Dennis. And I put my phone down, I edit it real quick, and I post it on Facebook, and it takes me 10 minutes every single day. That would help you. It would kill it for you, and it's so out of the box. And you might, like, I did not ask for the news. They came to me, and it was awesome. And it just was great. And I really think that this would be great for an agent or a broker to do something like that. But yeah?
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
This from Carrie. She's watching on the live. She was wondering if you see doing a video every day as being too much or too overwhelming for people that are like following.
No, absolutely not. It is not overwhelming. It's not too much. If you want to post 3 or 4 times a day on your social media, go for it. The reason why is because algorithms will never be predictable. You could post, I'm sure, look at LinkedIn. You can't even post a post and see it again unless you actually search for it. So algorithms defend people from that kind of practice. I'm a big believer as content is king. Stop worrying about algorithms. Don't worry about Facebook and Instagram. Just get a system and post on it. Once a day is actually ideal. I would even think someone could do once and then twice and then once and then twice. Sometimes you post 3 or 4 times a day. Do it. Who cares? I wouldn't worry about that. Don't worry about the amount of times you're communicating online. Did you know that your heart and your mind is unlimited? You'll never run out of content as long as you keep going forward. Where does all that content come from? It comes from you. You'll never run out. Don't ever think you'll run out. Well, if I post too much, I'll just run out of content. That's impossible. If you love what you do and you answered the first questions and said, I love what I do, it's amazing, you'll never run out of things to say. You'll never run out of ways to communicate your business and the things that you do. I want you guys to be warned that it's not overnight, and nobody will really care about your content in the beginning. It's the consistency is where people start to care. So it'll actually feel like failure at one point, because there were times when I did Corys 365 where I thought it was a complete failure. I was like, this sucks. I don't feel like doing this. Nobody cares. I have 1 like on each post for the past 15 days. Nobody cares. But in the end, I wasn't doing it for that. I was doing it for the people I was talking about, and I was doing it to create a habit for myself to be okay to communicate about things that I love. And it created habits in the way I communicate online, and it made me brave to put the phone in my face and talk about things that I love. I can't tell you the amount of marketing I've seen clients do that don't commit for the long haul. The consistency is the most difficult because there's so much feelings of failure in it all. It'll feel like failure so many times. You'll be like, this isn't working. Yes, it is working. You just got to keep going. Build momentum. I think Robert's probably talked to you about that before. He's even talking about we're just continuously doing video, staying in front, building awareness and momentum. To remain consistent through the pain and insecurity of what seems to be failure. So now I'm going to transition a little bit, and I want you to just watch this video, and I want to talk about yourself. Whatever your highest intention is for anything that you do, the strength of that tension will surface every shortcoming or obstacle to its fulfillment. When you're truly growing and you truly want peace, sometimes our definition of peace is a lot different than what peace really is. Peace isn't sitting in a quiet place and being completely content with everything. I imagine most of us find ourselves in a position of discontentment from time to time, or maybe you're a person that finds yourself in a place of discontentment a lot of times. Peace is knowing that you're moving forward and being okay with the tension and things that arise that you have to face to get to where you want to go. I want you to picture something. I want you to picture your highest intention. What is that? Is that loving your spouse, or loving your children, or being a great parent, or being great in business, or making a lot of money, or whatever it is? I want you to place your highest intention here. And then I want you to think about that. If you truly believe that, and you truly want that in your life, and you want to reach that ultimate goal, I'm going to guarantee you something. All of the obstacles and the tension and all of the things that you're going to have to do to get to that place are going to surface in your life. And most people, when things surface, when they're on their way to that high intention, quit. They stop. They do not progress forward because they feel that tension or that obstacle or that thing that got in their way as a sign that they shouldn't do it, or maybe it's just innately not worth it to them. You have to overcome that and understand that those obstacles and those things that are surfacing up are just meant to be burned off. It's like gold is never perfect. It's never pure coming right out of the earth. That's you. You're not pure. You're not perfect. There's inconsistencies and things in you that are just not perfect. And let me tell you something, that's okay. That's who we are, right? We are human beings full of impurities, inconsistencies, and faults. So, but when you set an intention, when you say, I want to make that gold bar, that gold nugget, I want to make it pure, I want to make it better, I want to make it more valuable. You have to go through a process to make it more pure. You have to put it in the fire. And when you put that gold into the fire in the furnace, what ends up happening is all those impurities that are dug deep into that gold nugget or whatever is going to start rising to the top. If there are obstacles in that bar or something doesn't go absolutely right, it's going to take a little bit longer for those impurities to come to the surface for us to be able to reach the goal that we wanted to reach. And that is the same for your life. If you allow those impurities or those inconsistencies or those obstacles in your life that are aiming towards that high intention or that goal that you have, the quicker you're going to be able to reach that goal or that intention. But you are never exempt. You are never exempt from those inconsistencies and those tensions and those obstacles from actually coming in the first place. Allow those obstacles and those tensions to come to the surface to reach that goal and understand that they're there for a reason. True peace and true forward movement is just understanding that process. So what is it that you're dealing with? Are you dealing with something today? Are you dealing with an anxiety or a hardship or a tension or an obstacle? Odds are it's in perfect alignment with the thing that you set up to do that's good. So get through it. Let it go through you. Let it be. Don't fight it. Don't resist it. And keep moving forward.
So this is my favorite part of anything that I ever get to say because it has most to do with about who we are as people. You're not real estate brokers and agents, you're people. And to be able to get to where you want to go, do the things that you want to do, to be successful, whatever your definition of success is, you have to be vulnerable to get to where you want to be. The tensions of the things that are contrary to what you want will surface. So I imagine that everybody is going through something at some point, a challenge in their business or a challenge to be vulnerable and put themselves out there, a challenge to do the selfie videos or to post that because we're not sure about what somebody will think or we're not sure what we will think or whatever it is. Whatever struggles we have inside, the more you press into that and just let it go and be vulnerable and be okay and just this is what I'm going through right now. The struggle and the resistance is just it's the things that are contrary to the goal you're trying to accomplish, the person that you're trying to be. What kind of person do you want to be? What kind of agent do you want to be? You could, if you wanted to, be whatever you wanted if you just continue to move forward and give up. It's easy to say don't give up, but this is what it means. This will give you strength and need to hold on and not give up. So now you know why you're not giving up. You know why the tension's coming. You know why the resistance is coming. The reason this happens is because your mind and body know what you're going and what you're doing, and it needs to build up a tolerance to this tension. Haven't you ever thought about something that happened in the past, or maybe something you have to do in the future, and your body reacts to it? Why is your body reacting to something that isn't really happening? It's because your body
and the things that you feel, your emotions, follow you. They follow your mind. That's why meditation is good. That's why being still and quiet is good. That's why trying to control your emotions. Just remember this. Your environment doesn't dictate who and what you will do. You dictate how your environment will serve you. That's why always bad things happen when you're in like the worst mood, because you're just like following your environment around. But if you set the tone, things will come and they will line up with you. Your whole life, the thoughts that you have, you can sit in bed and think about the most horrible things that have ever happened to you in the past or things that you think might happen to you in the future, and you get sick. Your body does not know the difference whether it's happening in the real world right now or if it's happened in the past. It just knows it needs to take care of you. That feeling when you close that sale, or you get that client, or you close on that home, or when you're sitting and you get like an award or for something in regards to your work, or something good happens to your life, and that elation that you feel, you can do that right here in your mind just by setting that thought, being like, this is the things that I want. How would it feel? Like you could say, I'm going to sell 40 homes this year. Instead of just saying you're going to sell 40 homes, close your eyes and think about how that would feel. And don't get up until you actually feel it in your body, until you've convinced your emotions and your body that oh my God, it feels like I actually sold 40 homes. And guess what? Everything after that feeling will follow. Everything, your intentions, the way you walk, the way you talk, everything that you do will mimic that feeling, because it knows, it's like, I need that, I want that, I own that, I already felt it. Now it just needs to happen. And guess what? It will happen. How? I'm not really sure. It just will. And it's because you make it the way that you want it. You're in control. You need to be okay with the growth in your life and in your business, the pain that comes with it, because that's the only way you're going to grow. Because if you are stressing and you're living in that moment of just pain and agony and you give up, then that's when it stops. You have to go through the fire. The more momentum you can build, the better. I want to show you one thing. There's markers up here? I want to show you this right here. This is you. And this is your journey, and this goes forever, right? Let's just pretend this is your goal. Right? This is life. And a lot of times when you want to reach a goal, at the beginning you go uphill and you're grinding and you're hustling and you're going for it and you're not going to give up. And you get up here to this first peak. You haven't reached your goal yet, but you can see your goal. If that was like here, like this, right? So that's the same height. You can see your goal. You're inside of it. You're like, yeah, freaking hustled. I did it. I can see the goal. I'm pumped. I'm going to go forward. The only way to get here is how? Moving which way? Forward. The only way to get to this is moving forward. Unfortunately, to move forward, you got to start going down here, because just life is full of ebbs and flows. You're never going to get away from the hard times and the painful moments. You're never going to get rid of that. Why do we all think it's just going to be like that? This is our imagination, like, oh, it's just going to be this. And then we're disappointed when we're here. It's just part of life. It's part of the way we are in our life, right? So you get down here, unfortunately, the population lives down here. That's people. They all live down there. There's so many people down there. There's people down here too. I don't know why. It's because it's easy. They camp down here. They're like, oh man, like I really had a good time. I could see it. Or they get dark and they forget their goal because they can't see their goal anymore. It's dark. It's comfortable. It's a little bit warmer. But it's just where everybody else is at. And you're down there and they're like, stay down here. It's fine. You're good. But you remember this. You're like, damn it, I remember my goal and who I wanted to become and who I wanted. So you keep going. You'll see it. Peace out. I'm out of here. And you know what? That's freaking hard, man. It's hard to go up that hill. It's so hard. But guess what? You're still moving forward. But you're grinding and you're hustling and you're going through pain and you're crying and you're in pain. It's not easy, but you keep going because you know that's still right there and you can't see it yet. But then suddenly one day, you get up here, boom, you can see it again. Something broke and you realize, fuck, I'm closer. I'm closer than I was before. I can see my goal. I can see where I want to be. I can see it again, and you're refreshed, and you're just exhilarated, and you just feel on top of the world. Everything's working, and you're like, I'm almost there. It's closer. I remember, and you're refreshed and reminded. But then you got to keep moving forward. So you keep moving forward, and guess what? There's a ton of people down there too that gave up and they started camping. And so you could stay down there if you want. A lot of people do. That's where they live. But not you, because you remember you lost sight of this because there's really no sight there. But you had faith. And you know just because you can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And you keep grinding and you reach your goal. The thing is you could reach your goal. Guess what? There's more hills and they go over here. There's more goals and there's more things. That's life. But it's such a beautiful life. I'm really sorry I broke your board. Was it already broken?
It was.
Oh, thank God. I know you said that, but just making sure. But I want you guys to know that this is, to me, this is life, and you just keep moving forward, and there's a lot to go through. And I want you guys to picture yourself at your goal, and you'll get there. Don't forget the feeling. And start thinking about yourself. Start thinking about how it feels to accomplish the person that you want to be. Do it when you're still. Because we all the time think about what we're not when we're still. We think about what struggles we have, how much pain we have in our life, and it starts to make us feel bad. If you have the power to make yourself feel like shit, you have the power to make yourself feel amazing. By just stopping and thinking and getting someone in your life that helps you. A friend, spouse, whatever, that believes in what you believe. So, back to practicality. How can you get people to take shits with you? Put yourself out there. Be vulnerable. Be okay with yourself on your phone all the time, doing some videos. Walk down the street telling people what you're grateful for, that you're grateful for them. People will spend their time, if you're consistent like Tom Brady, and you're consistent all the time, they'll get tired of seeing you and they'll start watching your stuff. And they'll be like, all right, what does this freaking person have to say? And then they'll say, wow, this person has some good things to say. Then they'll start tuning in more, and they'll start sharing your content. And then they'll meet you, and they'll be like, oh, I've seen so much of your stuff. It's so great. It's so nice to finally meet you. And all that pain that you were like, I thought nobody was watching. You put yourself out there, you've served a bigger purpose than just business, but you've made yourself stronger on the inside. In the end, just put yourself out there, be vulnerable, be open, expose yourself a little bit, and stop being afraid. And don't be perfect. You're not perfect. Have some ums and ahs, do a selfie video. Who cares what you sound like? Because you don't get that kind of chance when you're meeting someone face to face. Appreciate your time.